A young girl, Hannah, rushes into a diner begging the Iron Hawks biker gang to save her mother, Elise, from her abusive ex Lucas Kane, and two gang members bravely intervene. The sun had barely peeked over the horizon, painting the sleepy diner in shades of amber and rose. The smell of sizzling bacon and strong coffee mingled with the faint aroma of motor oil. A dozen motorcycles lined the cracked asphalt, engines humming low. Among them were members of the Iron Hawks, a notorious biker crew with leather jackets and tattoos telling tales of hard roads and harder lives. To an outsider they seemed unapproachable, even dangerous. Then came a sudden, urgent sound, a tiny, frightened voice cutting through the morning calm. A small girl, no older than 7, dashed across the parking lot. Her red coat flapped wildly as she stumbled over the icy patches, her face streaked with dirt and tears. She shouted toward the diners and bikers. "Help! They're hurting my mom. Please, someone help." Her trembling hands pointed down the empty road toward a cluster of worn trailers hidden by the trees. But before we dive into what happens next, I'd love to know, where are you tuning in from today? Drop your country in the comment below and please like the video. Thank you. Now let's continue. The bikers froze, engines fading into silence. Most looked away, uneasy, but one man stepped forward. Lucas Kane, broad-shouldered with a leather jacket marked by the Iron Hawks emblem, knelt before her, steadying her shaking hands. His eyes, though hardened by years of rough roads, softened at the sight of her fear. "Where is she?" he asked quietly, his voice calm but firm. Hannah could barely form words through her sobs, but she managed to point toward the row of trailers. "They're hurting her. Please, please hurry." Lucas didn't hesitate. His jaw tightened as he looked back at his friends. "Milo, Grant, come with me," he said, motioning to two of his crew. Without a second thought, the three men swung onto their bikes. Tires screeched against asphalt, sending clouds of dust into the morning air as they roared toward the trailers. Back at the diner, Hannah was wrapped in a thick jacket by one of the other bikers. She shivered, her wide eyes following the fading taillights. Truckers and townsfolk whispered nervously but didn't move. The air was heavy with anticipation, broken only by the wind rushing past the motorcycles. The ride was tense, every mile pulsing with urgency. Lucas's mind raced as he imagined the scene that awaited. His crew remained silent, the only sound the growl of their engines and the crunch of gravel under tires. When the trailers came into view, he slowed slightly, scanning for danger. A shadowy figure could be seen inside one of the trailers, moving erratically. Lucas's knuckles whitened on the handlebars. No words, just resolve. The trailer's door was barely open when Lucas and his friends burst inside. A man, disheveled and drunk, loomed over a woman pressed against the wall. His face was red with rage, and his fists were raised. Sunlight from a cracked window fell across the woman's terrified face, highlighting bruises and scratches. Lucas acted instantly, grabbing the man's wrist mid-swing. The bottle in his hand shattered on the floor. Milo and Grant pinned him down, their strength making resistance pointless. The woman, her chest heaving with relief, stared in disbelief. Lucas's voice softened as he spoke. "You're safe now. Are you okay?" Tears rolled down her cheeks as she nodded shakily. Outside, faint sirens began to wail. A neighbor had called the police. The bikers remained calm, hands raised when the authorities arrived, the woman stepping forward to explain the attack. Her name was Elise, and the man was her ex, just released from jail and seeking revenge. As he was led away in handcuffs, Lucas crouched beside a small girl clinging to his leg, whispering, "You were brave. You did the right thing." Lucas carried Hannah back to the diner on his motorcycle, her small hands gripping the helmet that dwarfed her head. The morning sun had fully risen, casting golden light over the parking lot. The small crowd that had gathered fell silent as they watched the bikers return with the girl unharmed. Elise followed slowly behind, bruised but alive, her steps steadied by relief. The diner owner quietly handed blankets and hot coffee to the pair. The bikers removed their jackets and draped them over Hannah and Elise, a gesture that softened the image of their rugged, intimidating appearances. Truckers and locals exchanged stunned glances, respect and gratitude mingling in the crisp air. Lucas knelt beside Hannah, adjusting her grip on his sleeve. "Take care of your mom. You've got a brave heart." She nodded, feeling both fear and safety in his presence. The bikers lingered just long enough to ensure mother and daughter were safe, then mounted their motorcycles once again, leaving a hushed, awed crowd behind. Their actions had shifted the morning from ordinary to extraordinary, showing courage and compassion in the most unexpected place. In the days that followed, the town rallied around Elise and Hannah. Neighbors delivered groceries, furniture, and household items. Volunteers helped them find a modest apartment nearby. The Iron Hawks didn't vanish. They returned frequently, sometimes bringing supplies, sometimes simply sitting in quiet solidarity at the diner. The presence of these rough-looking men became a reassuring constant. Hannah began to smile more, her laughter echoing through the diner as she joined other children at a small play area outside. Elise slowly regained confidence, attending to daily tasks that once felt impossible. Each Sunday, the bikers could be seen parked outside, checking on the mother and daughter, sometimes offering guidance, sometimes simply sharing a cup of coffee. Stories of their bravery spread quickly, with townsfolk recounting the morning when the little girl had run into danger, and the bikers had chosen action over hesitation. People shook their heads in disbelief, questioning appearances and learning a lesson in humanity. Courage and kindness can come from the most unexpected people. Months passed, and spring brought warmth to the town. Hannah, now more cheerful and confident, drew a picture in crayon. Motorcycles lined up under the sun, a little girl in red, and a man kneeling to help her. She ran to Lucas outside the diner one morning, proudly holding the artwork. Lucas smiled, taking the drawing carefully. "This is going with me wherever I ride," he said. It was a small memento of a moment that had changed lives. The bond formed in that terrifying morning endured, a reminder that even in a world full of danger and uncertainty, kindness could prevail. The story of the Iron Hawk's heroism, the brave little girl, and her rescued mother spread far and wide. It became a tale of hope, showing that courage isn't limited to heroes and stories. It can be found in anyone willing to answer a desperate cry for help. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Echoes of Life Stories, because sometimes the toughest hearts hide the deepest kindness. And before you go, tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were one of those bikers?